Very well done. Very, very good. Good
Well
evening
done.
and welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. You can see we've come up market since last year. We've now got an intro. Well done, Angela. Very, very good. Well done, you. Makes us look very posh now.
Professional.
Yeah.
Very professional. Well done, you. So, hello, happy New Year to everybody that's watching and tuning in. From myself, Paul, and Jenny at Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghost, Judith from founder of Paranation Ghost Hunting Events. I'll get that in. And Abnormal Paranormal Ben. Welcome. Dave's unfortunately unavailable for tonight, so Ben's standing in for Abnormal Paranormal. So, happy New Year to you all. Welcome. So tonight we're going to talk a bit about Ouija boards, what they are and why we use them. Do we believe in what we get from them, and how they originate and where they come from? And someone, one of our viewers, Graham, is messaged us to talk a bit about crop circles. So if anybody knows more about crop circles than we do, please get in contact. Angela will put the messages up on the screen so we can answer the questions, or maybe you can answer the questions for us. There was someone on there that we spoke to earlier that knows quite a bit about crop circles, so hopefully he'll tune in and join us and give us the answers or tell us a bit about crop circles and his experience into it. So hope you all had a good New Year and a happy Christmas and are all safe and well. As you can see, we're back. There's no Paula tonight, I don't think, is there?
Doesn't look like it. Haven't heard.
So there's no Paula tonight. Unfortunately, we were supposed to do an investigation Saturday with Paranation, but it went a bit peaked on. So, unfortunately, we couldn't get to the venue. Julia will tell you a bit about it if she wants. But we got lots more venues coming up. So, get onto the website, start buying all your tickets. Do you want to tell them a bit about Saturday, Julia, or would you rather just not?
Yeah, I'll tell them. Yeah. Huge apologies for Saturday. It was with regret we couldn't run the event. We were hoping to go back to the old convent over just outside Andover. We were there last June and we had an absolutely amazing time. And we were due to go back. Unfortunately, Thursday evening, I received a letter from the administrators to say that the venue was in administration and that we couldn't gain any access. There was no access for anybody from the morning of the 2nd of January. So we were all hugely disappointed, and it was a very long night Thursday evening trying to reschedule people onto other events. So thank you everyone for your understanding and all the support that we've had. It was completely out of the blue, unforeseen. We had no idea until we received the email about 5:45 Thursday evening. So yeah, it was just with great sadness that we couldn't run the event, and I don't know what the future is for that venue, whether they're going to I don't know what they're going to do with it, maybe turn it into flats or something. I've got no idea. I did try and get back in, and I know there's another group that also had an event booked in February, and they had exactly the same email as what I did. So yeah, really sorry everybody. But you know, this other person, this is the third time it's happened to them. So you know, it's our first time. So in 17 years, it's the first time we've ever had to cancel an event because the venue have cancelled. So huge apologies to everybody, and onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Definitely. Loads more coming up. So get onto the website, Paranation, Ghost Hunted Events. Get on there, book your tickets. There's plenty coming up. There's Bombay Sapphire at the end of the month. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got going back. Myself and Angela did it. It was the beginning of January last year.
Yeah.
And we went and did Bombay Sapphire for our first time, and we had quite a big group, so I think this time we're not taking as many people. And yeah, I think it deserves a second visit, to be fair.
Good place.
Last time we had a lot of newbies, didn't we, Angela?
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's always hard. There was a lot of people, there was maybe only 3 or 4 regulars, if that. It was it was a good night, but it's going to be much better this time. Well, not much better this time, but it's going to be easier with some regulars there to help us, and we had a great time last time. I can't remember what happened off the top of my head because it seems so long ago, but I think it definitely deserves a second visit. And it sold out just like that. It was all local people, so yeah.
Nice. Can't wait for that one. Not been there before, so it'd be interesting to go there.
And even though it's a gin distillery, there's no alcohol.
No.
Oh, there's no spirits there, though, no?
There's spirits, but not gin.
There are spirits there, but not drinkable ones.
No. There are other spirits there, but yes, but no, there's no alcohol. Even though it's a gin distillery, there's no alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
Graham's put Happy New Year, folks. Another year, soon be Christmas. Great. I don't know much about crop circles except watching that film on the Chill Bolton episode, which is just down the road, and the most interesting film that happened in the 70s. Amazing stuff. I don't know much about crop circles, really, to be honest with you. Ben, do you know much about them? I mean, I know
they're quite intricate shapes, aren't they? Like some of them, you see pictures of them, they're quite amazing. Like if that's done overnight, like who's got the skill to do that? Like,
well, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? You're right, Angela.
Yep.
It does make you wonder, like you say, when you see the shapes of them, they're very intricate, aren't they? They're very complex in the way they do it. For someone to do that in an evening, they were like Julia said, you know, the farmers are up at the early hours, aren't they? But whether they would go to that to do it, I don't know. I really don't know. You know, would you, if you saw a shape like that in a crop field, you know, how big must the alien craft have been to make that type of indentation? And yet nobody sees anything. So you think somebody would see something.
They're all very different as well, aren't they? They're all like very different shapes, very intricate as well.
Yeah. There are, you know, when you look on there, some fantastic shapes and the way they are, but you think a spacecraft of that size, someone would see it, hear it, you know. So it makes you wonder. I know it's some of it they say about it being part of ley lines that could cause it, a natural shape of a ley line.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But would you have a ley line that intricate under the ground that would cause that? I don't know. It's a very strange subject.
They're normally straight ley lines.
And they cross each other. They're not that intricate. When you look on the Ordnance Survey maps and the ley line maps, they're just, like you say, Julia, they're just straight lines across. Hi, Christine. Welcome. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, they were just...
And this has got something to do with like magnetic fields or something that make them, you know, almost as if you've got like those little metal, you know, when you're at school, you used to have like these lots of like little metal shavings.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you used to put the magnet under the bottom of it, and they used to all stand up or all part ways. Maybe it's something like that.
Folks' face, and you take the metal thing and it makes
the beard and that's the one. Yeah.
But that does make you wonder, doesn't it? That's a good shout, that one, Julia. Whether it's magnetically controlled, but you think the intricate shapes of them, you know. Yeah, happy New Year to you. The shapes of them, you know, when you look online, the shapes are so good, you know, so precise. You think, how can a human do that, be that accurate overnight? Sorry.
She meant door.
I was going to say, all things always happen here, Gemma. You're welcome to come over here. It's always very haunted here. You're very welcome to stay overnight with the ghosts. It's fine. We're used to them now. We just think, shut the door, and they come along and shut it for us.
That was me, actually.
That was Jen shutting the door.
I had my grabber stick and I was...
Nothing spiritual about that door shutting. At Chill Bolton, there was a clear face on the ground that no way could have been done by anybody overnight.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, why would they put a face in the crop? If they say that the crop circles are caused by the crops being bent over, not actually chopped, don't they? They're
Yeah.
actually bent to shape.
Yeah.
You know, can you actually do that with crops? Can you actually bend them into them types of shape?
It's a lot of work.
You can imagine, can't you? How many people would it take to make that size in that crop?
Yeah.
But mainly they're seen down in Hampshire and Wiltshire and down that way, aren't they? Sort of your way. You don't never see them up north, just mainly down that way, down the south of England. Why is that though? Do we have more fields down here with these type of crops? Because it's a certain type of crop, isn't it? Cereal, barley. I think I read somewhere else about it.
It could be animals, you know, it could be like animals underground
Yeah.
that are doing it or something. I honestly don't know.
It's very
Wiltshire
strange.
has the most crop circles in England.
Sorry, Andrea.
Wiltshire has the most crop circles in England.
And is that because they're near Stonehenge and Avery Stones? Is that something to do with it? I don't know. You know, it'd be nice if someone's watching and knows a lot about crop circles, pop on here and just give us an update or just have a chat with us and give us your ideas into them. But they say that a lot of them are around Stonehenge and Avery Stones. A lot of the circles are seen around there. So is it, you know, you makes you wonder, is it a cult group that does it? Is it people that are worshipping the stones that do it? But it's a lot of work, isn't it, for an overnight?
Yeah, even
sort
for
of
a hoax.
thing.
Like, it's a lot of work for a hoax. Like,
Well, you think so, wouldn't you? Because when you sort of look at them, they're so clever, aren't they, the way they're done? But how could you do a shape like that from the ground?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're looking along a flat line, aren't you, when you're on the ground? And yet when you put a drone up or whatever they use to photograph from the top, they're perfect, aren't they?
Yeah,
Could you be that perfect?
It says here that a lot of them are hoaxes, but if you listen to eyewitness accounts, the unexplained circles have one thing in common. They were formed in minutes or seconds by an invisible source. That's interesting.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yet
It could be like a farmer going and treading it all down, because that would take hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look at the shapes and the distance, because I've got one on here, and you look at the size of the people, this shape is enormous compared to the people that are standing in the circle.
Yeah.
They even showed you that the circles were perfect from above, even though the ground is uneven or on a slope. This is what I'm saying, Graham. You know, if you're standing at ground level, how can you actually see if that's a perfectly circle or perfectly marked or perfectly in a straight line? And you couldn't do it from the floor, could you?
No.
But you couldn't physically see the shape of it unless you're above it.
Like some of them are so intricate that it could almost be like done by like a laser or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's
It's phenomenal, really, isn't it? When you look at it, you know,
there's no tracks going towards it as well. Like,
yeah.
when you walk on
And yet
top.
you see, you can't, like Julie said, you can't believe someone would go out and tread that out all night and be that perfectly, because you look at them, they're perfectly circled, aren't they? They're perfectly intricate shapes. There's perfectly things in between. So it's a form of alien language that we just don't understand?
Yeah.
But I can't believe it could be a UFO that's landed, because do you think someone would see it, wouldn't you? Hear it? Because to press that down in the ground would be heavy. Pardon?
As
I
well.
don't think they'd be that quick. They don't come and go in seconds, do they?
No.
No.
I thought they didn't make any noise, and they do come in seconds.
I don't know. They don't often make noise. People say they don't hear a humming type noise. Dan Winstanley, good evening all. Ben, the Lone Ranger tonight.
Yeah.
One of your group, Ben.
Yeah.
But could you know, would they be able to appear that quick and press the corn down or the cereal or whatever they're on and then disappear with nobody heard it, see it? You know, a lot of people eyewitnesses say they see a UFO, don't they, hear like a humming type noise or a vibration type noise around it.
Also,
But you
stuff
think,
on the ground as well from the craft, like radiation or whatever.
well, yeah, you think it would scorch it, wouldn't you?
Mm.
For whatever propulsion unit that they
Yeah.
use, it would be a scorch mark, or how can they be perfectly pressed in? And like I say, when you see an aerial view, and they are actually perfectly shaped, aren't they?
Mm.
Mm.
From the ground, could you be that perfect? Hi, Dora.
Hi, Dora. Happy New Year.
Could you? Happy New Year. Yeah. Could you be? Could you do it perfectly shaped from the ground when you're on the ground level? I don't know.
I think so now.
So hopefully someone will come in that will give us an idea what their thoughts are.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
the Baron, if you're on here, you mentioned it earlier. So please drop us a note. Let us know that you're on here and give us a shout so we can understand and give us your point of view. It'd be interesting to know your point of view from them, because you said that obviously you can't give names out of people that you've spoken to about them, but obviously we understand that. But come on here and enlighten us. Tell us what your thoughts are and why would they be down that area of the country? Why not up north when there's all fields and various things? Is it because of Stonehenge and Avery, or is it just, I don't know? Why down that? I think it's a mystery, and I don't think anyone will ever know. Be interested if they had a 24-hour camera in the field. Yeah, that's right, Gemma. Yeah, it would be. But would they be in the right field?
Yeah. Who knows?
How would you know what field to be in?
Yeah.
Would be more to the question, because obviously down in Hampshire and all around the Wiltshire and that, it's fields as far as you can see, isn't it? When you go towards
Mm.
past Stonehenge, as
Yeah.
far as you can see is hills and fields, and and why only them two areas? Why do they not get them up north, or do they get them up north? But then we just don't know as much
Mm.
about them. Graham's put in the film they had a video that showed three orb-like bright shapes going around the field very fast and making the circles. Didn't think they had anything capable of that in the 70s. I wouldn't have thought.
No, not in.
No.
Not in
No. That's what makes you sort of hear eyewitness accounts like that, and then you think to yourself, well, they say most of them are hoax, but or some of them will be. We know that because people will do it just to get the recognition, won't they, and all of that type of stuff. But could it be that they're all hoaxes? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, really.
Yeah, I've just had a sort of like a bit of a Google, and I've seen there's some really like
Yeah, I had a look
weird ones. I don't know if you can see this, but
Yeah. But look how intricate it is, though, Julia.
Yeah, how could you? It's just, and then it's just like how would you? I don't know if you can see that.
Can you imagine doing that? Hi, good evening, Dave. Dave's put evening all. Sorry, I'm missing tonight. I do miss you all. Interesting subject, crop circles. Yeah, that's what I mean, Julie. Can you imagine designing that
It'll take
from the ground level?
It'll take days, I reckon.
But would you be able to do it from ground level, though?
Yeah, there's standard ones, which are like the circles and the lines, but
yeah,
which I think the circles and the lines are more believable than the ones that are like more intricate. Because the ones that are more intricate, I almost look too good to be true, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Too perfect, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're perfectly formed circles, they're perfectly straight lines, and that's and like Gemma's put in 2024 by Stonehenge, they had two, because they often say it's around Stonehenge and Avery Stones, which is just a little way along from it. They often get them. Is it a group of, I don't know, a group of that worship that type of type stuff? But I don't know, to be honest. It's difficult, isn't it? Because like you say, they're so perfectly formed in the field that from ground level it'd be so difficult to get a straight line and get a perfectly formed circle, and the intricate bits between when you look at some of the pictures. And you've got to make you wonder, doesn't it, how they do it, if they do it at all. I know in the 70s or 80s, there was two guys that created hoaxes,
Yeah.
and they spoke up about doing their hoaxes, how they did it, and they were running around in circles. But you can't tell me they did them in minutes. They would be hours, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
I've got
And
5 comments coming through. Do you want me to put them up?
yeah,
one
yeah,
after-
yeah, put them on. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people. I think it's making extraterrestrial beings interest for extra. Possibly, I really don't know. It's a difficult subject. Christine's put, is it some sort of language that they are so precise? This is what I wonder, whether it's a form of a language. And Graham's put, they also that the shapes appear over again, even though they cut the grain and even change what they grow, and then the same shape all the time. So, like maybe, you know, Julia's explanation, magnetic, underground magnetic fields that's causing it. Gemma's put, how come a farmer even do that? That's it. Ryan, Ryan, Happy New Year to you. You should look at the Nazca lines in South America.
Good about, yeah.
Similar sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, where the lines are cut through the ground.
Yeah.
But, you know, is it like Julia said, there's a magnetic something underneath? Christine's put, they could be some way of communicating. I do wonder whether they are some type of extraterrestrial language that we just don't know how to read it. Because, you know, would we have the technology to create that ourselves? Do you think?
I don't think so. Have to be lasers or like something.
Yeah.
But then, if you use lasers, would you scorch or burn, or you'd have some sort of, I don't know, because when you read up about them, they say that the cane and the wheat and all of that are perfectly bent over, but not actually. On most instances, they're bent over to the shape, but not actually cut and laid there. Yeah, all part of the paranormal, mate. Yeah, it's all part of what we call the supernatural, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of part of the UFOs and the submersibles and the paranormal, the ghosts, Bigfoot, cryptids. It's all part of that supernatural world, isn't it? But it'd be interesting to find someone that knows about crop circles. Dora's put, maybe that's a sign that there is something hidden underground. Maybe it's like Julie said, is there a magnetic movement under the ground? Because it seems funny if they cut it, plant different plants, but the shape comes back again.
Yeah.
And I know recently we have more and more sightings, don't we, of UFOs than we've ever had, really.
Yeah.
They go on about these drones, don't they, at the moment? Gemma's put, why a cornfield? Why not somewhere else? Well, exactly. They say it's corn, wheat, or cereal cane that it's done in, the normal 3. But whether you only get that crop down here in the south of England and not up north, I don't know. Why do they not see them up north? Is it that we only grow that type of wheat south of the border? I don't know. It'd be interesting to maybe talk to a group from America who have witnessed something to do with crop circles and get them to do a live. Yeah. If you know of anybody, Dave, get in contact with them. We'd be very interested in listening to someone. I wonder if the MOD know about it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good point. They probably know a lot more about it than we do. But you think, if it's a spaceship, alien craft, whatever it may be, why does nobody see it? Because like Julie said, the farmers are out at the early hours of the clock, running around their fields and up and down the roads. So you think someone would see one, or see something odd. I'm trying to get in contact with some American teams at the moment. Yeah, I've got a Canadian team that want to come on here, a ladies team, paranormal team from Canada, and Highland Paranormal from Scotland. We met a couple of their investigators when we were in the Jack the Ripper, so I'll send them a message and see when they can come on and talk about it. Do they get crop circles in America? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I think it's quite popular, like Texas.
But is that because they grow the same wheat as we do down the south?
Yeah, I think so. It must be, yeah.
Is it only certain types of crop that they do it in? I don't actually know. It'd be nice to find someone that knows about crop circles or have investigated it or, you know, can enlighten us, it'd be quite interesting, I think, to find out why that type of crop and why that type of area of England,
Yeah.
and nowhere else really. And if it's extraterrestrial, is it a language that we just don't understand,
Yeah.
or even how they do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it like Julie said? Is it an underground thing that causes it? Because they say that they cut it and change the crop, but it comes back again the same shape. So,
Vibration,
vibration, like Jen's saying, under the ground. Because it's funny how its shape comes back.
Yeah.
That's not me snoring, it's probably
So you think, you know, I don't know actually. It's just a bit mind blowing, really, isn't it, when you think about it? So if there's anybody who knows a bit more about crop circles, please get in contact with us and enlighten us to why it's the south. Yeah, Dave, but you sure did. Brian's put the Americans sent a message from observatory into American into space using a binary code of squares in the 70s. And the same thing appeared not long after at Chilbolton, but with different marks on an oblong shape that they think was a message that was sent back to us. I don't know if it's the 70s, 80s or 90s. I don't know if any of you remember that NASA were getting in contact with people that had home computers because they wanted to bounce the signal between homes and out to space. So if they used everybody's computer, they would use it in the early hours of the morning. So they'd wake your computer up and use the power of your computer to bounce messages into space. Do you remember that? No?
No.
I'm sure it was in the 90s, 80s or 90s. It might have been the 90s. And they said that they would switch on your computer. Obviously, you didn't have laptops them days. You had the solid, great big towers, didn't you? Not laptops like we have now. And they would switch it on at an early hour of the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And what they were trying to do was use all the power of the computers to bounce the signal out into space so they could push it further. But now, obviously, they have these radio telescopes millions of miles into space, don't they, that they're bouncing signals back. So is it that they're bouncing signals back and this is the answer coming back? But if it was an answer coming back, how do we interpret it? How do we read it? That's the thing. You know, how do you read that type of language? You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's a strange subject, really, about crop circles, isn't it? You know, if it's that language, how will we ever be able to read it unless they came and taught us how to read it?
Yeah.
You know, is there someone really that clever somewhere out there that knows the answer? You know, that works for the MOD or, you know, that type of industry? Because I can't remember ever seeing anybody say they sussed out why they make the crop circles and what they mean. Just intricate shapes and designs, aren't they? So, not sure. It's my on that one. That's a difficult subject. If nobody's come up with any more comments, how about we move on to Ouija boards?
Yeah, Sarah seems to think it was moles.
Mole. Big old moles, isn't they?
Could be little moles under the ground, and yeah.
Could be Bigfoot, couldn't it? Who knows? Will we ever get the answer? Maybe someone will pop in here one week and give us the answer, or to the theory of what they are and why they are where they are and what they mean. Somebody out there must know. Somebody's probably studied it, haven't they? You know, there's probably a lot of studying to do, them type and, you know, investigating and all of that. Ouija boards, right? What do we know about Ouija boards, Ben?
Well, they're a tool to communicate with spirits.
Right. Anything else?
Whether they're good or bad, it's a bit like talking on the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
You can get good spirits or bad spirits, or spirits from the place that you're at. Don't know how it works, but it works. You got to put.
But do you think it's a form of communication?
Yeah.
Do you think when you get that communication, do you think it's true communication? Do you think the messages are real?
Sometimes, yeah. Because stuff you've had, like if they answer stuff that even you don't know, like that person with you, or only you should know about, and it tells you, and you haven't told that person by you, and it spells stuff out that only you would know, then yeah, there's something in it.
But have you noticed, and we've all done Ouija boards and table tipping and all of that type of stuff, but do you feel the energy change on the board when you're working with it?
Sometimes. I've never had, personally, I've not had bad experience, only once, but yeah, it's the only one time I've had bad experience, but obviously we went off the board and said goodbye, but never really had bad experience from it other than one time, really.
But is that because you know what you're doing?
I think so, yeah. I think it goes down to obviously experiences. It's advertised as a game, but it's not a game. It was published by Hasbro, which make toys.
Yeah.
But it's not a game to have with your family. It's not Monopoly.
But you know,
Not really.
Dave's, but I'll never forget the night at the Ancient Ram Inn in the barn.
Yeah. Always
But
be respectful. Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. Because, you know, potentially, and we all know, don't we, we're communicating with something we can't see.
Mm.
You know, it's a form of communication. But, you know, I think a couple of years ago, you could buy a Ouija board in the pound shop. They were selling them for kids, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They were built by Hasbro, which make toys, basically.
Yeah. And you could buy them out of the pound shop, Ouija boards. There was a big uproar about children being able to buy them.
Yeah.
Because of what they are. You know, people say they're dangerous, but they're only as dangerous as the person using them, aren't they? You know?
I compare it to the internet. The internet can be dangerous, but it's how you use it. Like,
Yeah. It's the person that's using it, isn't it?
yeah.
You know, Julie, what's your experiences with Ouija boards?
To be fair, we've been using them for near on 20 years, and we've had some quite hairy experiences where I remember once in Arundel jail, this guy called Nigel came through and the whole room got really hot, and we heard glasses falling off in the bar area, and you just felt it got really hot and heavy. Like people say, oh, you know, it gets really chillingly cold. It doesn't. We find it gets really hot and really heavy, and the whole atmosphere was really hot and heavy. And you know, when the glasses, and he kept on touching people's hands and touching people's hair, and you know, I think that's the only time when I felt maybe we ought to close it down, because it's getting to that stage where it's getting a little bit too far. You know, it's not just general communication. There's, you know, glasses falling off the shelf, and other things that are happening, and you're like, maybe it's time to close it down. But you know, we went with it for a bit longer, and we managed to turn it around, and I think it's all to do with experience, to be fair. And I think, you know, if you've got the experience behind you to know when it's going in the wrong direction, you know, because we have regulars come, we have you know, our team are very experienced, and you know, you get the newbies as well, and everybody's encouraged to sort of you know, oh, you know, shout out, let's try and see what we can get. And it's all to do with opening the event, closing the event, and what you ask to come through. If you just say anybody, that's what you're going to get, just anybody. But you know, if you open up by saying we're only allowing anybody associated with the venue, anybody that worked there or lived there or had any association with the venue, then they're the sort of people you're going to get. You're not going to get sort of you know, anything that's, you know, sinister or anything like that. Hopefully we've never had it, so you know, I don't know whether that means that we're doing anything right or not, but yeah, I've never had anything bad. Touch wood.
Gemma's put, it worries me so much. My husband said I'm not allowed to do it, and it does scare me. He said 2 people in his year school did them, and within a week they both died. My question is, what's the difference between the boards and glass moving and table tipping? Well, they're all the same, really, aren't they? They're all communication.
Same,
They're
yeah.
all doing the same thing, aren't they? The only
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
is that the board has letters and numbers on it.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
doing the glass, and you've got a bit of paper that says yes, a bit of paper that says no, or go to so and so for yes, or so and so for no, or if you're doing the pendulum, even if you've just got a pendulum that you're holding, or if you do the human pendulum, it all ties into the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether
It's
you've
like
got
doing the
board,
writing
glass.
planchette, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly the same with that as well. It's all
And you get a name or a shape, or like Julia's done before, and had some amazing things come out of that.
Shepton. I've never seen that before, Shepton. It's very
But
interesting.
the writing planchette,
Yeah.
it's very clever. If you get real on it, it's amazing some of the things it comes out with, names and shapes, and it's amazing. But going back to Gemma's question, it is another form of communication, isn't it? Just because you don't have the names, the numbers, and the times and the dates and all that, the table tipping's the same, isn't it? Tip it which way for yes, which way for no. Can you move, like Julie said, can you move the glass to this? And it was like the night we went to the secret location. Do you remember that, Julia? And you, Jen, I think it might have been Angela, were on the table, and the lights went out, and it took the glass. We said, "Where can you take the glass to where you're standing?" Do you remember? And the whole of the lights went out, didn't it? And we just took the glass right across.
Funny enough, I was talking to Sarah. I think she phoned me today, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. But we had a bit of a catch up, and I said that has to be the highlight of my year, of that year, because I didn't know Sarah, I didn't know Luke, I didn't know, and I said that all the team that were there were all very experienced people and trustworthy people.
Yeah.
And Sarah says, "Oh, Lionel comes, he can turn all the lights out." Well, of course he can, Sarah. Of course he can. So you're just going to turn the switch and turn all the lights out. And Paul you had your laser grid up, didn't you?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and Sarah and Luke were standing behind you, and that Darren was blowing
that's
smoke
right,
and everything,
yeah.
and doing his vaping, trying to create
Really
a
funny.
smoke machine type thing.
That's it, yeah.
His his poor lungs that night. He was like, and that was and then I said, "Where are you standing? We've left a space. You come and stand here. Move the glass to where you're standing." The lights went out. It was pitch black, and the glass went to the gap where he was standing. And when your heart just sinks, and you're like, right. So the lights went out. He's moved the glass to where he's standing, which is but I think it was between me and Dora, and I'm like, right, okay. And it's now pitch black. And I've shown that video to so many people. I have to try and find it, and it's got to be probably that's quite a scary moment. That was.
Yeah. Gemma's
Good
put.
though.
I just had to have the respect to his wishes, but not sure what he worries me more than other forms of communication. Then I think because you hear such bad things about Ouija boards, and how people have had bad experiences with them, but that's due to people having a bit of a party. Oh, let's get a board out, or let's buy a board
as well. You don't
do
know,
it, mate. Sorry.
It could be coincidences as well. Like you've used the board, something bad happens. Is it related to the board, or is it?
Well, they say in the spiritual world there's no such thing as coincidence, don't they? But I think, like Julie said, if you say, "Oh, is there anybody there?" You're not specifically pointing at one direction.
No.
The movies haven't helped over the years either. It's completely right, Gemma. It's like Julie said, instead of having a specific person that you want to contact, you say anybody. That allows that communication for anybody. And I've been in houses where people have had boards, and the board's done something strange, and they've all run off. and left it. Oh, we ain't going back in the room because there's something badly wrong. But you've just left that telephone line unplugged or off the hook, haven't you? Someone's got to go back in there, open that board back up and close it.
Yeah.
But they won't go back in because they're so scared of going back in that room. So that communication line is left open. So who knows what can come in through that portal, for want of a word, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do remember a fair few years ago, myself and Mark, we went to this house, this lady's house. It was a friend of a friend that he knew. And we turned up and she said, oh, the children say they see this lady. So we used our skills and that. We tried to find out, you know, with our equipment, like who it was. We were going around in circles, and I said, your granddad's coming through. Your granddad says that he's trying to protect you from this lady. He's like of the barrier. And we kept on going, and I said, I can't find out anything about her. And something just occurred to me, and I said, look, I said, I hope you don't mind me asking, but have you and your friends ever used a Ouija board in this house? And she said, oh yeah, we have. And I said, well, that's possibly where it's come from, because you've just had a bit of a go, and you've said you haven't opened up, you haven't closed down, you've just said, everyone put your fingers on, is there anybody there? Well, that's it. Anybody, she's come, she's staying, you know. If you want to get rid of her, that's going to take, it's not just going to take like a night.
No.
And it was quite late into the evening by the time, we sort of like got to that stage. So, yeah.
It's a case of having to go back in there, isn't it? Open the board and try and get them to go back out the way they come in. And it's not always easy, is it?
They might not know how to either.
Exactly. They might not want to.
Yeah.
So then you have that. Graham's put a little coat house after that lemon appeared inside the glass. Yeah, that's amazing. We had the most amazing glass moving we'd ever seen. For minutes, it seemed. The glass with 3 fingers on it, with me filming, rolled around on the rim, backwards and forwards, just rolling around, that nobody could possibly emulate. Absolutely incredible. I've watched that video. If you get a chance, go on and watch it, how the lemon suddenly appears inside. Hi, Happy New Year, Benjamin Holland. Welcome.
I've just bumped it in the group, so if anyone wants to go and have a look, I can't answer that. It's
Julie Bobs. Is that your nickname?
No, Benji Bobs, yeah. Benji Bobs. Benji Bobs used to be in bed. It's getting late for him. Very late.
Absolutely gone. That's snoring.
No, we thought it was extraterrestrial, actually, Jen.
But yeah, I've just bumped it in the group, so go and have a look, because it really is, thank you, Graham, an amazing piece of footage that, I think it's got to be one of the best out there, to be fair.
Absolutely. I've not seen anything like that. Know, how it appears, how it did is just phenomenal, isn't it? It's just...
The people on the glass, there was 3 people on the glass, and these people, they're all the same age. One was Graham's wife, and the other 2 were like husband and wife. But I've even thought, could it be like magic? You know how people do magic tricks?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that Sheila is any magician, and I wouldn't have said the other 2 are any kind of magician. And you could just see the surprise of when, oh my God, what's that? What's a bit of lemon doing there?
Why a lemon?
Yeah. And if you wanted to have a drink, you had to go to the bar area, which was across the car park, to have a drink. So it wasn't as if we had any like lemons in our pocket or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Jen said, that's called a what?
And a port.
And a port.
And a port. APORT. Spirit can do that. Produce something from the spirit world.
Yeah, they did in Graham's.
Yeah.
The lemon appears underneath the glass. It's the most amazing footage I've ever seen, I think. For it to...
in the group, so we're going to Paranormal, and it's definitely worth a watch, because if anyone can explain it, then I'll be happy to listen, and so would Graham.
Yes.
I've heard of others. So people in circles, for mediumship, have like a penny turns up, or I don't know.
Is it whatever turns out in the glass is recognised by someone in the circle, or is it just
when we were doing when that experiment was taking place, it was actually in an extension called the orangery. So orange, lemon, orange, lemon, orangey.
That's what makes you wonder whether. Yeah. It makes you wonder whether it appears the report appears it's in relation to where you are or to someone in that circle. Like a penny. Someone say, "Oh, I used to have one of them," or "My nan used to have them," or "We used to save them as kids," or like Julia's saying, if it's a lemon or orange tree place, why a lemon? And happen to be in that place, that's not coincidence, is it?
No such thing as
no such thing as coincidence, Gwen said. It's what they teach in the spirit world, isn't it, Angela? No such thing as a coincidence. Things happen for a reason. What's meant to be won't pass you by, as Jen said. So it does make you wonder, if you think, should they be a warning on the Ouija board when you buy it? This could be a danger, or do you think they should put warnings on them?
Isn't it, I guess. No one forces you to play it.
Graham's put there's a man with a jovial laugh just before it appeared.
Wow.
That's just amazing, isn't it? Just how that can just happen. But that sort of, if we went to an investigation or an evening like with Paranation and something like that happened, you'd just pack up and go home, wouldn't you? Because that would be all you needed. Isn't it? It's like, a couple of investigations we've done, and it was like the old police station where we had the whistle.
Oh, yes.
That's just the most amazing thing I think I've ever heard. And the voice, the EVP recording in the hall, Julia, where it said, "I'm on the stairs," and rushed across the stage, and a little girl, and you think, well, if I only got that all night, then that's enough. The whistle was just to have 3 different types of people hear that whistle. You can't say it was outside, inside, or anybody else. We heard it and thought, who's whistling?
And then you got it on EVP, and then I was jealous because you got it on EVP and I hadn't heard it, and I thought, I want that for myself. So then I sort of had to go, well, it's the way it works, isn't it? And then a little bit later, I thought, right, I'm going to go into that library. Very, very tiny room. Went in there. I think there was me, Gemma, and Ian, and we heard it with our ears. We heard this whistle. We're like, my God, we've heard it. And I was recording, and I got it on EVP, and I thought, fantastic. Now I've got a whistle. We heard it. We all heard it. So, and I think somebody else heard it after us as well. So, absolutely amazing. Really great. I'll have to try and go back there.
To hear it audibly as well, rather than on an EVP, is even better, isn't it?
Yes.
Because Dave put that needs to go viral. I think he's talking about the video of Graham. Yeah. Have you seen it, Ben?
Not yet. No, I'll watch it.
Try and have a look, mate. See what you think. It's the most amazing
9
video.
years.
Can't believe it's 9 years ago it was videoed. Giving your age away now, Graham. You know that. But it's the most amazing video. To see it, how it appears, it's just incredible, really. It just shows you.
We tried to debunk it so many times.
How can you debunk that?
We just can't.
Don't you?
Nobody's hands move, do they? Nothing moves other than the glass. So,
and it seems to come in from the side of the glass. So if you're a magician, you may be able to do some trick like that. But, I don't think any of those would have been capable. No disrespect, but I don't think they would have been able to magic that inside like they did.
Because Dave's put that is amazing. Honestly, what was it? Appeared looked like a ring. It's a piece of lemon, I think. Was that right, Julia?
Yeah, I believe so, Graham. It was a bit of lemon, like a lemon. Yeah.
You just confirm that, Graham, if you're obviously here. But it looks like a piece of lemon, and like Julia saying, in the orangery, it would indicate slow it right up to see it better. But like Julia's saying, is it an offering from the area that you're in? Like Julia was saying, it was the orangery. So, was it an offering from there? If you were in somewhere else, would it have been a penny? Would it have been, say, you were in the silk mill? Would it have been a bit of fabric that appeared under the glass? Or, is it something that appears under the glass relative to where you are? Like a penny or, something that you would relate to or someone would relate to, or the building, even the building. It just amazes you how spirit can do it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Graham, it was a rolled up when it appeared, then opened up. So it was rolled up and then opened up as it entered the glass, Graham. Is that correct? I'm not sure what you meant.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. But just the most incredible footage. You get a chance to watch it, Ben. Have a watch.
Yeah, well.
No matter how many times you watch it, it never ceases to amaze you. You look and think, how does that just happen? How can they do that?
If we were sort of like great at video editing, or if we wanted to fake something, we would have made a better job at videoing it. But it was just off the cuff. Graham was just doing a bit of videoing, and he called it. It happened. But I think over the years people have said, but it's if we were going to fake it, we would have made a really good job of that video. But you can tell, it's it's not sort of like focused on that the glass or that side or anything. And it's just a very, very, very good catch.
It's obviously black and white and grainy, isn't it? It's an original. You could tell it's an original. I think a lot of times it's like here when we call that video that went on the TV, wasn't it, of the spirit here? I think it's more luck than judgment, because you're filming it for some reason. You don't know what. And it was like the night we left the camera here in the lounge. Don't know why we left it, and he was just trying it. So I'll leave here, just try it, see what happens tomorrow. And then, of course, we caught what we caught. So is that more that spirit are telling you, giving you the sense to do it, or is it just pure luck? What do you think?
I think it's just right place, right time.
Yeah. I think, spirit guides you that way to put in your head, I'll try the camera tonight, see what happens. Or do you just, like you say, right time, right place? You just happen to be filming at that split second that it happened and things happened. And, how lucky have you got to be? We were very lucky to catch what we caught here in the doorway, and even sitting there looking at it for days, trying to work out what we picked up, you still couldn't believe what we were seeing, and it's the same as that one with Graham's. How many times he must have watched that to believe what actually happened. Must have been days and hours watching it, thinking, how has that ended up in there? Why has it ended up in there? Because you question it, don't you? How did it? How's he got under the glass? Because the glass doesn't go up, it doesn't lift, it just appears. Lucky isn't the word. I felt so blessed to catch that. Oh, absolutely, Graham. And we were the same here when we caught the ghost here. We were so lucky and so honoured, because people that have seen it in the professional type side of the paranormal world, and even the footage went to the police for them to check the metadata on it to make sure that it wasn't, like Julie was saying, it was photoshopped and all of that. Said he couldn't believe what they were actually seeing, and we couldn't. And really now, you still can't, can you? Like Graham's video, the more you watch it, you think, how? Spirit want you to know they're there, and what better way of letting you know that they're there with you than to do that for you? Makes you a believer. And if you did that on a paranormal event like with Julia's, and something like that happened, that would be the night, wouldn't it? You'd go home with that big grin on your face and say, you know what a night that was. And it was the same with the whistle, wasn't it? And the groundlings with the girls, and me and Luke, when we were sitting on the stage and we heard the whistle back, and it was as clear as day. Okay, you go, but we changed it. It was like, and then literally seconds later, it was exactly this. It was like someone was whistling in front of us. I looked at Lou and went, "Did you hear what I just heard?" And, you know, when you look at each other and think, "Did I just hear that, or was it just me that heard it?" He went, "Someone just whistled. Someone just whistled back." And that, to me, when you get things like that, it don't matter about the rest of the night.
We always
You've got
get stuff though, don't we? You know, we always get some pretty good stuff on. I think it's because we've all got a lot of experience. We all know what to do and what to, you know, how to direct it, and if it is going a little bit flat, how to bring it back up. And you know, we've got lots of equipment, and also the traditional methods as well are also pretty successful at getting activity going.
Yeah, sometimes people want to see visual things rather than equipment, don't they?
Yes.
Sorry, it's about like Julia does with the dowsing rods, isn't it? You see them move, or you see a cat ball flash, people are amazed, aren't they? You hear them go, "Look, the light's flashing, look over there."
It's
You know,
when
if that
equipment
flashed
go off,
all, do what, mate?
when multiple equipment go off at the same time. That's a bit weird.
Yeah. Because it's visual, people see it and they think, "Oh my God, there must be something here." But if you're using equipment and you're getting voices, it doesn't have the same impact as seeing a cat ball flashing, or, you know, the dowsing rods working. You know, and they do work well, don't they? The dowsing rods, when they're really working, you know, you stand and watch them, and it often amazes me how good they are, because you
I
physically
should use
see.
them more, really.
Yeah.
But they are, you know, amazing how they work, isn't it? But you can visually see it working, same as a cat ball, isn't it? The same as you look on an SLS camera, you know, to the naked eye, you don't see anything, but in the camera, you see it. You know, do people believe what they see in the SLS? Graham's put, incredibly, had it not been on video, nobody would have believed it. Don't think. Sometimes it's bad enough with the video. I was thrown off for 2 sites accused of fixing it. See,
But as I said, you know, if Graham was out there to fix it, or we were out there to fix it, we would have made a better good job at videoing it. We would have got the right angle. We would have, you know, got the right lighting. We would have caught it going through the glass. You know, you can see that Graham's just like off the cuff, just doing a bit of videoing. You know, it's, you know, sort of, oh, I focus on this, and, you know, it pans out a little bit, and that. If it was to be faked, it would have been done. There would have been a better job of doing it.
absolutely. But why a lemon turn up in there? You could have put anything in there if you'd have faked it, couldn't you? A chicken, a rabbit, you know, you could put anything in the hat, can't you? Draw anything out of the hat.
Yeah.
You know, why a lemon?
Yeah.
You know, it's the last thing you would think about putting a fruit under a glass. There's better things in there: a pen, a bit of paper, a penny, a coin. You know, if you were going to do it, you'd do something spectacular, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Why
little
just a
note
bit of lemon?
get out or something, you know, something like that.
Yeah. So you could tell it's a genuine video, and the more you look at it, you know it's genuine. Because Graham's not that type of person.
I think people are just jealous. They're just jealous because you've actually got something that's truly magnificent, and that's why they, you know, oh no, it's all faked, because, you know, they're just jealous. And, you know, I suffer from that as well. You know, if you know, someone gets something like Paul with a whistle, I'm like, oh my God, I want that whistle. You know, you know, it's all sort of like you just want. You want to experience it, and you want that to happen as well. But, you know, if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just a very good catch. And I don't think that, you know, if anybody wants to try and debunk it or try and recreate that, then go ahead. But I don't even know where to start to try and recreate that lemon going through that glass.
I don't know how you can. You know, Grant, but also wouldn't be sharing it like I have been. It's fixed. Any chance I can get, I share it. And so you should, Graham. It is the most amazing footage that, you know, and it needs to be out there. People need to see it to believe it. You know, you're always going to get the people that, you know, it's the same as us when ours went viral and went on the TV. You know, you always get that, oh, you know, that's not really a ghost, that's them standing there, or no, that's not, it's a film fix and all of that. So you always, like Julia said, you're always going to get that person that doesn't believe. That's how it is in the paranormal world, and that's how it will always be, won't it? You'll always have them people that will try and debunk everything you get, but sometimes you can't debunk everything you get. 80% of it, maybe you can. 20%, I don't think so. Is that always that 20% where you think, I've exhausted everything natural? So what I heard, what I felt, what I got touched, I can't explain. You're not saying it's real. You just say that you can't explain it, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I always say. Yeah.
That's all you're saying. You're not saying, I know what I felt. You know. Sorry, Ben. What was that?
After every event, I'm always like, what just happened? Like, how did it?
And Julia tell you when, like, you're organising it and you're rushing around. You know, people get these things. You think, oh, well, why wasn't I in the room? Why am I rushing around? And you don't really get the experience in the evening. And Julia tell you because she's going up this tunnel, down that tunnel, upstairs, downstairs, basement. You know, making sure everybody's having a time. Yeah, but you miss the times that people get connection. You know, and I remember they'd put, love coming away from places with more questions than answers, and I think that's what it's about, having coming away with more questions than answers, and then that makes you more passionate to go back again, because you think, well, if I go back again, will I get the answer that I need because of that? You know, and it's like, you know, when we was in the tunnel, I think it was Widley, when I was with Gemma, and it turned the lights out, the laser grid out, when we asked it to, and the shadow in the corner that stood up when we were there with Gemma. And I think Gemma got her hair touched or a shoulder or something, you know, and everybody was behind her and around her. So, you know, it couldn't have been anybody there. But, you know, you ask yourself, well, what was it? Why did it do that? Why did it turn the lights out? You know, you do walk away. I often walk away thinking, okay, so it turned the lights out, but why would it do what we asked? Would it know what a laser light is? Can't be a battery flat because they've just put a new battery in it. You know, you sort of question yourself and you question your equipment, but sometimes you just have to go with it, don't you? Not question what you've seen or felt. It's just, I can't explain it. You know, the battery's good. And how many times you had a flat battery and then walked up the tunnel and the lights come back on? You think, well, how can it be flat down there but not here? You know, and cameras, isn't it? You go down with full battery, put your camera on, it runs for about 2 minutes and it shuts off. You think, well, hang on a minute.
That's what happened at the house me and Dave done. That's what happened. I had my camera on. Never happened to me before. The camera's fine, and it just turned itself off. Like, but it made the clicking sound as well. And I couldn't explain that.
And it's like, and I bet Julia's done it where you've taken pictures of your phone and your phone suddenly goes back to home screen. You're thinking, why have you gone back to the home screen? What's here that I shouldn't have took a picture of?
I remember we were doing the lamb in Theal, and we were having a particularly scary moment where my friends, I've known them for 20 odd years, they're really good at doing scrying. And
yeah, I remember them. Oh.
And we were up in the room, up in the bedroom doing scrying. I can never say that word. And I was taking loads of pictures because my friend Emma was sitting there, like looking beyond her reflection, and her eyes got really big, and then they started like looking like that really fast, like around the room and darting from side to side. And I was just like taking all these pictures. And when I went back through them, there was all these pictures of Emma sitting in front of the mirror, and then there's like a blank one, and then there's all the pictures of Emma in front of the mirror, then a blank one, and I'm like, how would you get blank ones? Because I'm just going like that with my phone taking photos. They're coming back. They're coming back.
I remember doing that one with them in Lambs when we saw that blooming bloke stand up in the mirror, and it was all hell broke loose up in the bedroom, it's crashing and banging, and it was so funny. But then they did the mirror scrying, and I've seen mirror scrying done before, but I've never seen someone looking into a mirror and yet their eyes scoured around the room, looking at everybody in the room.
Really quite scary.
I've just sat there. Jen sat there. I think it was Dora, and we were just sitting there thinking, "This is creepy. This is really."
I've seen Emma do scrying a lot. You know,
unreal.
In the past, I don't know, 17 odd years. They're coming to Devizes Town Hall, and there's another one they're coming to as well. So they're coming to Tracy and Emma. They're coming to Devizes Town Hall, And that is when we did the lamb. That's the first time I've seen anyone's eyes get that big and just like dart like that.
Yeah.
Really quite scary, that was.
It's creepy, isn't it? You know, even when we were sitting there, you know, and it's hard to get into your head because she's still facing the mirror, but the eyes are looking around everybody in the room, and you're thinking, how does this work? This is creepy. This is really creepy. And yet, you know, when she first started to get it, and I kept saying, she's got sideburns. And I could see what looked like hair coming down here, you know, and her face was changing. And then the eyes, you know, are you there? And it like literally looked at each and every one of us in the room, even though her head was straight. And I'm thinking, what on earth is this?
But you know, even when her face is changing, because this is what they focus on, Emma and Tracy just focus on this scarring. Even when her face is changing, and I've been with them many, many times before, you can't video or take a photo of that face changing. It's so weird.
Weird, isn't it?
You know, she's had a moustache and beard, and I think, I'll take a photo of that, but it doesn't come out.
I saw a friend of ours do it once, and she turned into an actual witch. Her face, with the pointy nose and the eyes are all dragged down. We took loads of pictures, and not one of them come out.
Yeah.
Not one.
I've tried, but they are coming back. They're doing 2 events this year. I know they're doing the Devisers Town Hall, and there's another one, but I can't remember which one it is. I'll have to take a look. But
they're amazing.
Can't wait. They only live around the corner from me, but I rarely see them. So yeah,
they're amazing. When we were with them in the land, they were unreal, another level with it. Scrying. It's just. I've seen scrying over the years, but they just seem to have that what it took, and them eyes looking around that room was just.
I've never seen Emma do that before. Never seen her do it. Mind blowing. You know, scary though. That was chilling.
The scary bit about it is when they come back from it and they say, "Oh, what happened then?" Don't you remember what happened? You looked around the room, no?
Yeah.
You didn't have to see the. No, I just saw my face, and they can only see their own face, but they can't see the change. How do you explain that? If they're looking at their own reflection in the mirror, how can we see them change, but they can't?
Does everyone see the same changes, or do you see different things?
We saw like the sideburns appearing and what looked like a moustache.
I think everyone saw the same thing.
Everybody seemed to see the same thing when she was only like 10 minutes into it, 10, 15 minutes, if that. And you just looked at her in the mirror, and obviously you'd see her face like normal. Then suddenly you look and you think, what on earth is that? And you start to see something appear on her face. And everybody saw the sideburns and the little moustache, and then the eyes looking around, because it looked at each one of us in the room, but her head was straight. But her eyes looked at each and every one of us in the room. And I'm thinking, how can this be? And then when I asked her, do you remember changing? She said, well, no, all I could see was my face in the mirror. And I'm like, how can you not see your face change? We saw it change, but how could you have not seen it? And she said, they just concentrate so much on their reflection in the mirror, they don't actually see the change. Really strange. Honestly, if they're there and they do it, you've got to watch it. It is unreal. You know, for someone to do that like they do is just another level of scary, really. You know, and it takes a lot of doing. I've tried to do it myself and sort of seen things, and then you think, oh, nothing's happening, but people say, oh, what's going on there then? And you're looking in the mirror, and then you lose that concentration because you're looking around the mirror. What's going on then? And then I think they have it in such a pack where they're so focused in what they're doing that whatever you say, they don't lose their concentration. They're in that zone. Because I've done it before. Somebody sits there and I'm looking around the mirror thinking, what's in the room? You know, and you've looked at it, you've gone. Yeah. You know, but even though we were talking and saying about the cyber, she was so into the zone of doing it that it didn't affect her. She just carried on, and what we were talking around her didn't affect her. You know, it's just the most amazing thing I've ever seen. You know, and then the shape of the guy appearing in the mirror when we was upstairs in the bedroom.
Blimey.
And then all hell broke loose, women screaming, and there was all, tables got knocked over. It's, and Jen, all the way up to then, Jen was often saying, "Oh, nothing really happens when I go. It must be me. I must be blocking it, and nothing." And that night, she came out there and said, "Oh my God." I said, "Well, at least you can say it ain't you that's blocking it." And the amount of screaming and people diving over the bed and knocking the table and running out of the toilet and all sorts. How nobody fell down the stairs when that bloke appeared in the room. I got above nose.
Dora nearly jumped on my lap.
Dora's on Jen's lap. The two other ladies were crawling across the bed trying to get away. When you look back at it, it's quite funny when you look back at it. But when it happened, it was quite something to see. Because we had the table tipping going for a long time, and then it just stopped. Just instantly stopped. And then the atmosphere in the room changed, and you think, and it got darker and darker and darker in the room, and you're thinking, oh, something's coming. When you get that feeling.
Then you had that hand on your.
And then I had that hand on my shoulder in the toilet as I went to go, and I felt this hand on my shoulder hold me to the floor because there was a lady to my right sitting up on a chair, and she screamed, and I went to go because it's quite low door, isn't it, between the room? So you'd have to sort of duck quite low, otherwise you're not. And I always remember getting up as they screamed, and somebody putting their hand on my shoulder to stop me going. I thought, well, get off, and I was out, and it was just utter chaos. It was the same as when I think it was Darren, wasn't it? Saw the man at the bottom of the stairs looking up the stairs into the room. I mean, that was the most amazing place.
I think it was him, Stephen and Ian. I think they looked down and they saw this man, and Gemma, I think she was up there as well. She took a picture of him. And when they said about it, I said, it's really weird because we've been there before, and we've been downstairs, and where were we? We were in the bedroom, and we saw a man come up, sort of like he seemed, it's as if he came in through the back door where we all come in and out. And it's like he came along the corridor, and he seemed to look up the stairs, and sort of as if he was going to shut the door, and then he just seemed to go into the toilets. And I said at the time, I said, "God," I said, "what's he doing in here then?" and I said, "Oh, maybe the caretaker guy lets him come in and use the toilets, on the way back from somewhere." And we didn't really think anything of it. We just thought, maybe he's just come in to use the loo, which is what seemed to be, and he just glanced upstairs. "Oh, what are you doing up there?" Type thing.
Yeah.
As if he's going to close the door, and then he just went. We saw him going in the toilets, and then it happened again. Darren and them saw this guy again around the same time as well, and we're like, "Oh my God, that must have been a ghost we saw then." It just looked like a man. Because we thought, and when you go out of there, it's just like a quiet street. There's no other pubs around that I know of. So what would the man be doing walking along the street and then think, "Oh, I need to go for a pee. Let me just go in the back door of the Lamb, use their toilets, and then go back out again"? You just wouldn't, would you?
How would he know it's even opened? Because it would have been in darkness, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I remember Darren coming down and saying to me, "Did you just walk down the corridor?" I went, "No, I've been in the front. We were in the front room by the main road, the further front one." I said, "No." He said, "Are you sure you didn't look upstairs?" I said, "No, I've been in the room. I think I was in there with Dora, Jen, and a couple of other ladies." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I just saw someone look up the stairs." I said, "Oh, well, it weren't me because I'm in the other room." Everybody was sort of spread around, quite a few upstairs where you were. There was some in the dining room and some at the very front room, wasn't there? All of that type of thing. I said, No. He said, "I know what I saw. I saw someone open the door a little bit, look up the stairs, and then put the door back." I said, "I know what I saw." And I never disbelieved him anyway, And he said, "You sure?" He kept saying, "You sure it wasn't you? You sure?" I said, "No." He said, "It looked like you." I said, "Well, an alien would look like me, wouldn't it? Really, but he was, he was amazing, isn't it? Really, how these things just, is that residual energy? Does that do that same thing every certain amounts of months? It appears and goes because it's maybe when it was original, would it have been staples? Would it have been going into a stable, or not quite sure the history of the land, whether it was a coaching house or whatever. Is he someone that would have been getting horses in and out of the stables, or you don't know? You just don't know, do you? It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but a lot of people have seen him, so yeah, it's
He must have a weak bladder, mustn't he?
were they maybe they weren't always toilets, maybe the toilets were outside or something,
Yeah,
maybe that was another office or bedroom, or
yeah.
you just don't know, do you? Lounge?
No, you'd have to go right back and see from the beginning, really, wouldn't you? See whether it's a coaching house, and like you say, you would come in the back door into the rooms, or would it have been the back door into the stables? Would it? You just don't know, do you? But having seen it twice and people seen him, you've got to make, you've got to think, well, there's got to be something residual there because it's doing the same, looking up the stairs. But does it realise there's people up there, or is it just looking because it's just replaying what it would have done?
Yeah. Oh, it's empty, let me close the door type thing.
Yeah. Dora's put that was an amazing. Have to come back at some point. Go back, I think, to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Gemma's put, I love the lamb, especially in that room. Had a lot happen in there. It's just amazing place. Dave's put something to do with the time again, I expect. Yeah, I mean, Graham's put, should write a book with these amazing accounts. I'd buy it. Well, you'd only be you, Graham, with 30 pence. We'd be broke the time we published it. But yeah, I mean, it's just residual energy, isn't it? Just going back and over and over, replaying the same thing. But it'd be interesting to go back again, wouldn't it, and see if it happened again. But
yeah,
not sure
it's always like just
what time of
after
year was it?
Oh, we've done it all different times. March, I guess. I can't really remember.
It makes you wonder if it's an anniversary, a passing, or something that's why it replays at that specific time. Is it only that time of the month, or does people see it all sorts of different times? I don't know. But it was the most amazing place. I think. Well, is there any more questions or anybody there? Okay. So, anybody want to add anything to Ouija boards or crop circles? No. No, just won't go to bed now. Okay, only remains for me to say thank you for tuning in tonight. And we're talking about crop circles. If you know any more information about crop circles and you've studied them and investigated them, please contact us and let us know. We'd be very interested in knowing your opinions on them. We're not sure because it's not something I've studied or any of us have studied, but it'd be interesting to hear your side of the story. So please be in contact with us and let us know. Same as Ouija boards, and about your experiences. Thank you, Graham, Christine, and all them for tuning in tonight. But if you get a chance to go on and look at Graham's video, it's the most amazing thing to see, and we can vouch for Graham. Dave's put, thanks for a good live, guys and ladies. You're welcome, mate. I hope to see you back soon, and give our blessings to your partner's nan. I'll be in our field giving it a go. Why not, Graham? That's your field, mate. One day when I retire, I'm going to come to your field. And we'll see what we can get together. So, okay, so if you have any subjects you'd like to talk about or like us to talk about next week or even come on, then we've got to try and sort out a few guests come on and do some speaking. So I'll be contacting and emailing them this week, see when we can get them on. They can give us an available date. That's it. Oh, we've got some events coming up, Julia, haven't you? The 25th is Bombay Sapphire. Then what's the next one?
Very good question. It's a new year, isn't it? It's a new year. Okay, so we've got Bombay Sapphire which is the 25th of January. That's in Laverstoke, just outside sort of Whitchurch Way. We've got the Victoria Hall, which is in Ash. That's sold out. That's beginning of February. End of February, we got Devizes Town Hall. Got spaces on that one. End of March, we got the North Fort down in Weymouth. Looking forward to that one. We've added today Fort Woodley, which is in April. Always a good place. Definitely recommend that one. Been there loads and loads of times. Always haunted. June, we've got Oxford Castle, sleepover and breakfast. And then we've got Halloween at Cogs Manor. So there's a few in there at the moment. Still got some more to add. But that's our event calendar so far.
So get yourselves on there. Start buying your tickets. All good events. We've done most of them before, and they're always haunted. You know, we've had some good contacts and good stuff there. So please get onto the Paranation website. Start buying your tickets, devices, and all the others. Because I think you'll be impressed, especially the way it's run and the team that's behind it and everybody that runs it. So get on there, buy your tickets. You will not be disappointed. Even if you're newbies, don't be afraid to come along, because we're the friendlier team, and there's no silly questions. Ask the questions and we'll try and answer them. Come on here if you want to come on here to be reassured about a venue, or contact Julia at Paranation. She'll give you all the soothing and healing words to get you to come along if you're new, you're not sure, you're a bit scared, not worried. It doesn't matter if you come along on your own, because you'll soon make friends, and we all have in the paranormal world. You make friends very quickly, and friends for life. I can assure you that. I've met some outstanding people in the time that I've been in the paranormal world. So, yeah. Where's that one? There? No, he's there, isn't he? He's that way. There, wherever. I think we're all pointing to wherever. You know what we mean. Mr. Paranormal, Abnormal Paranormal, Ben and Dave. Unfortunately, Dave can't be here tonight, so we send our best wishes to his partner's family. Hope all goes well. So it only remains for me to say good night and thank you for tuning in. And once again, Happy New Year from all of us.
Yeah.
Night.
Night.
Right.
Hang on a minute, I'm doing it. Honestly.
Wait for the intro. Please stay on and watch the intro. Andrew's worked hard on it.
I haven't done an outro yet. It's already semi-finished.